Hello everybody, welcome back to the kitchen. I hope you've all been well. The weather's a bit rubbish today, so I thought we'd make a pie. And I don't think we've made a pie, have we yet? Of course, by the time you see this video, the sun will probably be shining and it'll be glorious. But this pie can be enjoyed hot or cold. We're going to make a corned beef and potato pie. So, let's get on with it. Okay, so this is our ingredients. We're going to need a tin of corned beef, a 340 tin, an onion, some potatoes, about £2 of potatoes, so like I would say 3 or 4 of those probably. Don't be fooled, I didn't grow these potatoes myself, they're grown in somebody else's garden. I didn't have room for potatoes. And we're going to have pastry, obviously, for the pie. Now, of course, you can make your own pastry, but I thought to make this quicker and easier, I'd buy some short crust pastry from the shop. So there's 500 grams of pastry there, which is all we'll need, and it does cut out a lot of fiddling about. Okay, let's get on with it. I forgot to say you need a pie dish. But this size, this is about 25 by 25. If you haven't got a pie dish, you could probably just use like a deep plate. It'll be all right. Yes, and also we need a bowl to mash all the ingredients up in. I knew I'd forget something. Right, first things first, let's peel the spuds and get them in the pan. Now I use this peeler because I like it. You don't have to use a peeler like mine. You can use this peeler as well. It does the job. Both of them do the job. Now that you've peeled all your potatoes, we'll just put those peelings there for a second. We need to chop up the potatoes quite small so they'll boil nicely. Just like that. I got a knife. Yes, so we'll cut up the potatoes. Don't worry too much because they're going to be mashed afterwards. Okay, they're all chopped up now and then. I'm just going to fill that with water. There we go. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in. And we're going to put those on to boil. Excuse me. Right, we'll turn that right up, get those on to boil. And we'll come back to everything in a minute. Okay, our potatoes are on now. I'd bring them to the boil and let them simmer for about 15 minutes so they're nice and soft. In the meantime, we are going to chop up our onion and our corned beef. Okay, so the onion needs to be cut quite fine. So if you're going to find this difficult, get a grown-up to help you. I mean, I find it quite difficult. Woo! My eyes are going. Oh no, my eyes are going. Oh God, oh, they really are going. Oh, you know what this means to me? Goggles. Let's get on with it. Right, I'm just going to give these a little, another chop like this. If you can bear to do it through the tears of the onions. Yes, if you don't have to use a snorkel mask, obviously. But it's my tried and tested favourite. I've been doing it for a long time. You hear many things about how to stop your eyes streaming when you're chopping onions. I find that method works for me. That's our onions done. You could saute your onions if you want at this stage, but you find that when they're mashed into the pie and the pie goes in the oven, they will, break down because of the heat of the oven. Yay! So, next job is to open the tin of corned beef, which in itself can be quite tricky. So, you have to take the key that's stuck to the top, and then you find this bit of metal here, and you put the key on, and then you wind it backwards. Oh, it's looking promising. Yes, it's doing it. It's doing it. So you do this all the way round. Oh, don't die on me now. Don't die. Come on. Come on. Oh, it's marvellous. Coming, it's coming, it's doing it. Yay, we did it. Okay, so we take this off, take that off, oh. And then this should come out into the bowl. There it is. There it is. Right, now we need to mash this up, I think, with a fork. Here we go. There we go. We're just gonna break it up a bit because we are gonna mash it in with the potatoes when they're done. Also at this stage, while your potatoes are doing, I would take your pastry out of the fridge because it needs to thaw out for about 30 minutes before you can kind of do anything with it. And so it'll be ready hopefully at the time that we need to do the pie. There we go. Just got to wait on the potatoes now. Okie doke. It's been about 20 minutes now, so I'm going to check on the potatoes. Oh yes, they're soft enough. Right, let's drain those and mash them. Okay, now is about the time to turn your oven on for preheating purposes. So we turn it on to 190 degrees or gas mark 5. We're going to mash these potatoes in a bigger bowl. I just realised that this bowl is going to be too small for everything. So we put the potatoes in there. Now do not add, well I say do not, but it's best not to add butter at this stage because there's enough fat in the corned beef that you don't need butter, and if you added a knob of butter it might go a bit, sloppy, soggy. So there's your mashed potato. Right, now we're gonna add the corned beef and the onion. Oh yes, oh yes, so lovely. We also need to add at this stage half a teaspoon of salt and a quarter of a teaspoon of white pepper, which is what gives it that lovely taste. There we go. What do you want, cat? The cat doesn't like the rain. And the poor cat's been very, very poorly for the last 5 weeks, and she's only just been allowed to go out. So now she won't go out because it's raining. Right, so we're going to mash all this together. Yeah, make sure it's all mixed in. See, I can see rogue bits of potato there at the bottom. So keep mashing until it's all mixed in together. Okay, that's all done. Now let's get the pastry out. So we want to take this out of the packet. And I mean, I personally would like to sort of roll this into a ball rather than have it square. Lovely. Right, now I put some flour on the surface so it doesn't stick. And I've realised I forgot to say that you needed flour at the beginning of the video. And I also forgot to say that you need a rolling pin. Right, I'm going to cut this pastry in half, or maybe just over half. Because we need that bit for the top and this bit for the bottom. So, hang on, Jemma. Let's roll it back into a ball. Like I said, the brain cells. Right. So, I'm going to roll until we get a nice round bit of pastry that will cover the bottom of the pie dish. I mean, you don't want it to be too thin, but you don't want it to be too fat either. So I'm hoping that this is going to be the right size. Right, I think that's about the right size now. So before we put it in the dish, we need to grease the dish a bit to stop anything sticking. I'm just using a bit of butter here with a bit of greaseproof paper. Okay, the best way to do this is to get the pastry on the rolling pin, and then it makes it easier to kind of go over the dish. Allegedly. Everything's allegedly in this kitchen. There we go. So now you need to push that down. Let's get the filling in then. Right. Can we get any more in there is the question. Yes, come on. Okay, that is quite a full pie now. So now we need to do the lid. So we're going to do the same for the lid. Obviously it doesn't need to be quite so big. Put the top on. So before we put the top on, we're just going to brush some water on the edge here so that they stick together. And then, same procedure as the bottom. We're going to roll the pastry onto the rolling pin. Roll it over. Ooh. I'm going to rearrange that. There. It's on. Right, now you kind of need to pinch the edges together so that they stick together. So we're going to do this. Can you see this? My two thumbs. I'm just going to go like this, around the side. You can do this with a fork, but I like doing it that way. Now we're going to take these edges off. See, just like this, around the side of your dish. There, so we've trimmed all the edges off and we've got this bit of pastry left over. So I am going to make shapes or letters to go on the pie. You don't have to, you can just prick some holes in it now and put it in the oven. But where's the fun in that? So I've rolled out this bit of pastry from the trimmings and I'm going to cut out some shapes. Now you can write the names, if you're making the pie for somebody, you write their name. You can do anything, but I am going to do leaves. You know, I'm not the most artistic person in the world. But hopefully. And also I'm doing this with a sharp knife because I'm an adult, supposedly. So you should really get an adult to do this. or at least to help you. Okay. See, now what's that? That doesn't look like a leaf, for goodness sake. Right, there's a few leaves. We might have to add some more. But another thing I forgot to tell you is that you're going to need an egg, because we're just gonna whisk this up with a fork and we're gonna brush this over the top so it gives it nice and shiny glaze. So I'm gonna do this first before I stick my leaves on. Right, let's get the leaves on, shall we? Right, I'm going to put them in the middle, like this. Right, I don't think that's enough. I don't know what I'm quite going to do. Maybe like as if there are twigs with the leaves. Right, let's get the egg wash on top of our leaves and twigs, if you like. I told you art wasn't my forte. But you can have fun on the top. You can put whatever you like on. And don't forget we need to make holes, air holes, which I probably should have done in the middle, but never mind. I think we'll do some random fork holes, maybe around the edge. Makes a nice little pattern as well. Beautiful! Right, in the oven it goes for 30 minutes. Check it after 30 minutes. If it's nice and golden on the top, fantastic. If it's still a bit pale, put it in for a little bit longer. Okay. Right then, are we ready? Are we ready? Oh, yes. That is what I'm talking about. Well, here we are. I hope you've enjoyed today's pie extravaganza. Like I said, you can eat it hot or cold. It's really nice to have with chips and beans, or mash and beans, or equally with vegetables and gravy. Or you can cut it up and take it on picnics with you, or put it in your lunchbox or whatever. And I think the most important thing of all to remember is that, see this? See this? Brown sauce. Brown sauce. Very important. Very important. Yes. Yeah, that's something else.